Live from the MC.
When you hear that, you know what's going down.
Wow. Cheat code in full effect.
Let the choppers out.
Don't let us sneak up on you.
You guys have so much energy. I just want to say that, you know.
Don't let us sneak up on you.
Welcome
back.
We'll be waiting for it. We'll be waiting for it. Till then,
We're fucking
You guys
live from the MC.
welcome to the DP, y'all.
Welcome back to the DP. Very special DP today.
That's right.
Very special guest decided to bless us today. Our very own
Special guest.
published
Dyckman's own.
author.
Dyckman's own.
Dyckman's very own. Chief executive of Dyckman Diaries.
editor-in-chief.
Editor-in-chief.
Only because Charlie, honestly, Charlie who runs that, I don't want him to be mad at me. Because he's like,
Yeah.
I see.
I was like, no. But, I help him out.
Chief editor.
Chief
you go.
editor, amongst many other accolades. Jason Paulino, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Let me get some class. The yellow.
Nah, I did not believe it. I did not believe it.
This is not for show.
This actually works.
Everything in
This is a functioning board.
Everything here is functional.
Yes.
The environment around you is functional. Everything on the table is
Está bien,
functional.
Thanks for
IKEA.
bringing me back to this place. I haven't been.
When was the last time you were here?
Honestly, man,
The day you graduated?
1996.
The day you graduated?
Yeah, I did
Wow.
one of the reunions, but it's been a long
Reunion,
time, you know.
okay.
That's right.
Like we're all kind of old, but I will say this: a lot of the people from my class, they still look good. They're still like,
Yeah?
I'm like, I'll give them this. I look 96. I looked through it. I was like, okay.
Okay.
I'm just saying, there's a few from 96. I respect.
All right.
Looking
tight, looking right.
Okay. Shout out to 96.
I see you on IG and I approve.
You're going to have to
You've been
share
doing
those
Nice.
ideas later.
Shout out to the class of 96, man.
Talking
We'll be sending you OnlyFans invitations soon.
Absolutely not. But
After dark.
after,
Hold the TV.
oh yes.
We could have the feng shui. I can't
The
see
feng
Jay.
shui.
What's new with you guys, man? 2020, you guys survived. I'm really
Oh,
proud of you.
man.
Anyone who made it this far, I'm like,
Yes.
Give it up for
you did
them.
a good thing.
You should be clapping yourself up.
Because Lord knows I was getting ready to kill myself.
Oh, my
All
God,
right.
It was weird being locked up for a while. You know,
rough.
like
It
it
was
was
rough.
like a different thing. I'm a writer, so I told people it was the easiest time I ever did in my life. Like it was just like I've spent like 4 or 5 months in a room by myself, which I don't think a lot of people had ever done.
That's
And
your
I was
zone.
And I was like, oh no, I'm fine.
That's your zone.
Yeah, I was
And it's
no,
like,
no,
this is
no.
all right.
No, I'm good. I was like, no, I've done this.
You in there.
I had a job the whole time. I'm one of the very fortunate people. I worked full time the entire time, but I just remember thinking to myself, like, this could be way worse. And like, I remember being in like California writing my novel, and I had like no job. I'd eat once a day.
Jesus
and,
Christ.
And so it was different. Now people are like, oh, things are bad. I'm like,
They could be worse.
I still got health insurance, so I'm all right. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm lucky that I understood.
Praise
I was one of the
God for that.
Fortunate people to stayed working through all the whole.
Jason,
thing.
how
We love
many
health
novels
insurance.
do you have already?
I have 3. I have 2 that I self-published, but I have 3 that I've written. I have 1 that I like shop around with. I just hate shopping it. Like I'm good at like writing them. I'll sit there and anyone whatever. I'm like I have a bunch of work, but like I really don't like care to deal with the other end of it, which is like you have to actually and it's a different world. And I did try for a long time. Like I wrote these books like 10 years ago. And it's not like it's not nothing new or anything.
But what does that process look like? Like, for someone who doesn't really know much about writing, like once you write a book, what are like the next steps? Like how do
Not
you
even. Hold on.
go
But,
about-
how do you go about your first book? Because like you just mentioned, you like to spend a lot of time. Well, not that you like, but like you have to spend a lot of time by yourself if you're a writer.
Well, that's all I tell people. Anyone who
Is
wants
that-
to write, is like all you have to be is very comfortable with solitude. Like you understand, like if you're writing a novel, like I just like locked away for a few months, and I just would like work for 4 hours, I sleep for 4 hours, and I work for 4. You like everyone finds their own process, but it's like you're like in your own like fantasy, and it's just hard. Everyone's like, why aren't you writing now? And I'm like, I have a job now. Like I did this when I was like 10 years ago. I was like mid-20s, and I didn't care, and it was. I didn't care. It was just locked
You had
away.
the time to be creative.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
And you had more. I think when you're younger, you have that more room to take risks, and like you can take those bruises. Like I just think that like now I wouldn't do that. Like now I'm like 30s. I'm like no chance would I put myself through that. But I'm glad that I did it early on. But I tell people, a lot of people, if you want to write novels, like my first novel was like a 500-page novel. Like I tell people like you just have to be okay with being by yourself, and I just think that is a different thing. And it's funny because 2020 and COVID and all this, it taught a lot of people like who could not handle being in a room by themselves and just having to be, you know. And I think that it was helped me a lot in that way because I just, you know, I could just shut it all off, you know, and I think that's its own thing. And you're gonna have, and I think that we're gonna have to deal with that more as a society as things keep going, because like, you know, like this is just the beginning of this whole COVID. Like, people are like, oh, anyone who's trying to give you like the full answer to things, or anyone who comes to me is like, I have all the answers, I'm like, you're just full of it,
right?
And like I'm already like, you're already suspect to me. And like I'm like, no. Anyone who comes to me is like, I have all the, oh no, I know, you know,
I know what's really going on.
Do your own research. I'm like, dude, you're like,
do your own research.
You barely, like, I know you were in grade school. I mean, you didn't do that when you were smarter than me. You're not smarter than me then. You're not smarter than me now. So I'm like, it's just really funny to hear certain people be like, do your own research. And I'm like, oh yeah, tell me about your degree, dog. Like, tell me how you can take this, you know, news that you took from your thing, and now, you know, it's just crazy. Like, you know, like I deal with a lot of political things, and, you know, with Dyckman Diaries and all that stuff. I'm telling you, we're about to do an article on, we want people just to vote, and we don't care if you're like pro-Trump, pro-Biden, whatever it is. So we're going to do a pro for both of them, which is, which, trust me, I had to be talked into it, because I know
very
people
controversial.
are going to write a lot of, you know, I'm like, I'm feel, but it's funny because, you know.
You guys supporting Trump? I don't like
Yeah,
this
you know
idea.
that's going to be the first question.
I'm supporting you as American being counted, because everything that's going on in Inwood, between rezoning, between all this stuff all connects, consensus, you know, the census. If you don't want to like be counted, then understand is people will tell me, well, I don't believe in either one of them, so I'm not gonna do anything. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're a fucking, you know, you're part of the problem, because you're just not being counted. So I'm just saying, be counted. If you want to go vote for Trump, New York is gonna go for Biden either way.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really matter. So my point is, if you want to go vote for Trump, go vote for Trump. But like, it's not really gonna matter, because the state isn't gonna go for Trump. I could do that. So I thank you guys for giving me this, you know, this opportunity. I love, you know, being part of this, and just like Inwood, man, it's just such a great place.
We got to get the word out to everybody.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man.
Voting is very important to our communities.
Absolutely, but you know, and I'm always repping. You know, I got like Jimmy Ponte, who's a Inwood, you know, right? That's who made this hoodie. You know, I fucking love it. You know, you have to represent like the people here. You know, during COVID, everyone's like, "Oh, where are you gonna go?" Yeah, you know. But I think that you have to support your community, and everyone wanted to. And you know, I joked about all the people left. Like, you know, I live on Seaman, and I live in that kind of that corner, and you know, all my neighbors left. You know, during the COVID and the whole thing, pretty much. Like the one on top of me, below me, left. And then a bunch of them came back, and I was joking. I was like, I got nowhere else to go. Like this is home.
This is home. Yeah,
like, I'm not going anywhere. So it's like I was like, good job. And they all came back, and I was like, oh hey, how you doing? Like what happened? I was like, nothing. Everything is just fine. But home is wherever you went to just now. Okay,
right for you,
and this is my home. So you gotta understand is that I'm gonna deal with this.
Yeah,
and
you have to stick through it.
We're just gonna have to deal with it, and you know, and so it's a process, man. So tell me, what's new with you guys?
It is, man. Look, I recently moved from Inwood, but now I'm living downtown. But you know, I'm up here all the time in the LES. It ain't fancy. Okay, yeah. It ain't fancy.
Look at this guy's too good for us now.
But it's like it's different. Like I see a lot of different things down there. Like down there, it's kind of like I see a mix of everything. Like I see like super upper class people that are in like their own condos, and then there's like a whole street full of crackheads half a block over, and a methadone clinic over here, and it's all like in the same little area.
Welcome to New York, man. That's why I love it, man. It's just like the crazy. You be on the subway, there's the millionaire, and then there's the homeless person right next to you. You're like, you have no idea.
It's true.
It's the amazing
true.
thing. You just spilled
I don't think. Yup, that's great.
The White Claw.
That's great.
I'm actually more upset that you spilled White Claw.
I'm tired.
That's good stuff.
Way to go,
BRB viewers.
It's all good, guys, but you know, it's just it's
So
a
you gotta
shame.
put things under your chair.
Everyone have a moment of prayer for the White Claw. We just lost a moment of silence.
In
Everyone.
the spirit of the Holy Spirit,
We
all
wasted a good
glory
one.
and honor is yours, Almighty Father.
So yeah, no, I'm glad.
Forever
I think that we need
ever.
more like this kind of thing where people from here are actually talking
Yeah,
about
now
the
and
things
we
going on
support
here.
each other, because
Absolutely.
that's vital. That's
Absolutely.
absolutely the most vital thing we could do. Support each other.
Absolutely.
Not try to cancel each other, What was that girl's name? Let me bring this shit up.
No. We're not talking about
kill
that
her right now.
No.
Kill her, try to cancel us out here. We got some girl over here.
No, we're not.
Yo,
we're
you
not
lucky I don't
talking
know
about
your name, girl.
You know what's funny? No one actually
You see me?
It's like a joke.
You see me?
What do you know anything about the whole situation with Peralta?
No, I mean, okay, I know a little.
You know the story?
About she put
The girl?
the whole IG thing.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
No, she went hard.
She went
for him.
hard. She went
Yeah.
hard.
She
I will
went
say
hard.
this. I, at this point in my life, want more receipts. Like, I don't, like, it seemed very carefully crafted to me. And that scares me a lot because, like,
Women are crafty.
very crafty.
Yes.
Very
And
crafty.
They have the time.
I don't want
They
to,
got
and
the
I don't
time.
want to like be misconstrued there. Like, one of my point is that, like, I don't want just a bunch of clever little clips about someone doing you wrong. Like, I really like. You know, I think in this day and age, it's all about, like, this is the whole George Floyd, the whole thing. It's just, we have more receipts. This is 2020 is a year of receipts. Like, anything you're doing, whatever is going on, you're not going to just get away with it. Everyone's recording. Everything is live. And I'm just saying that, like, for her to go that hard, I want, you know, and it's not about believing people. It's everyone's like, oh, you don't believe. I'm like, no. I'm just like, listen, if you're going to come with something that hard, I need receipts. I need, like, you're gonna have
Clear,
something,
concise.
something.
Yeah, because
You
at the end of the
this is
day,
your word
that
versus mine, and I'm just saying, you know, anyone. It's-
that
not
cancel.
accusing her of lying or anything, but
No, yeah, because
need to come a
at the
little
end of the day, the cancel culture is basically somebody's trying to destroy you. They try and destroy your persona, your
image,
your pretty much your everything, your income, especially if you're a person that you sell apparel. Yeah. You know, the image is a huge part of it.
But tell me, who's actually been canceled? Anyone that is like, you know, like everyone's like, oh, they're trying to cancel this person, but no one actually gets canceled. Actually, if anything, it like actually amplifies their whole thing. Anyone that I've heard is like, oh, like, I'm like, you're not a victim. Oh, they try to cancel me, but like, are you dead? Did you die? Like, I'm like,
did you die?
But did you die? Like, I
haven't seen anyone get fully canceled
No
yet.
one's really been canceled, and I just want people to erase the whole thing that you're being canceled. I think it's its own negative, like, you know, like nonsense, like not.
At the end of the day, it will taint a person's image.
It does, but understand is that anyone who wants to attack your image can, and if they have the right evidence and that thing, they, you know, it's like it's open to them. This is the life.
Yes,
that we live in.
that's very important that you bring that up. That anybody that wants to can
absolutely, and that is what we have to face is the reality of our lives is that anyone, and you know, it's just one of those things that keeps going, and I'm like, listen, anyone who has, if I was going to accuse anyone of anything, I would have like real proof of it.
Yes.
If not, I'm not going to get into this like me said whatever. It's just like because it's just bad. It just doesn't do anything, and I don't know. And so that's one of those things to me. I think is very important in this day and age. Any accusation you have against someone, like, you better have some really, like, you better have something in writing. I don't want to hear it. I'm like, no.
I think no matter how you look at it, it's a double-edged sword, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I do agree with what you're saying because and it's not about not believing a victim for me. You know, I do think any allegation should be taken seriously and further investigated.
Absolutely.
You know, but it's like I think it's a slippery slope when we go down a road where all it takes is for someone to say, hey, you know what, this person did this to me, and not even necessarily to that substantial degree, but even something less important, like, hey, this person did it to me, and that's all it takes. There's no investigation. It's just kind of like, you say my name and I did this and it's over. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit, it's a bit unbalanced. You know, it's a slippery slope.
There's a lot of motivation people have that we don't like really know about, and so it's just like one of those things. Like, we're all capable of lying, we're all capable of, and so I think that's the one thing is like I see things now, and I'm like, I honestly like. It's the worst thing is that now like news is like, oh, this person tweet this. If you go on Twitter, there's like there's an opinion for like any opinion you can find. Mm-hmm. There's like 10 people who will have that opinion, and if you like put this news story like, oh, these 10 people are mad about this, like, it becomes news, but it's not really news. It's like these people are like on, you know, the Twitter fingers, you know, Drake talked about it, but it's true. That's it's just like everyone's like, now it's like, it's a thing. Like, I'm like, really? Like, I don't know. So it's just I saw we talked about, I'm sorry, we got sidetracked. We're talking Peralta. I saw the original thing, and I know people like kind of in that, and that's kind of helped me with, and so I was like, listen, I want to know more, and I'm not accusing anything, but like I want receipts. Like at this point, it's like it's a lot.
Just to update everybody, the girl did stop accusing him.
Oh, really?
She stopped?
She stopped.
I didn't know that.
She went hard though.
She went hard for a little while.
I mean, the IG's still up.
Yeah.
She stopped the, she
Well,
stopped.
how did she stop? Did she stop going hard?
No, she stopped
Stop.
saying that. But there is also a bunch of separate IGs created, like a complete, like separate, like IG kind of against him. So
Yeah.
she has nothing to do with that. That's someone else who, just like with anything else, they create some separate page specifically for like.
No, because I
passion.
thought the girl that was doing the accusing, like her name was attached to the cancel page. Was it not?
Well, it was, but what she has no control over what someone else does with her page.
It's vague. It's like gotten people into a lot of interesting situations. I don't know. It's definitely like the biggest thing between being like now I'm 37, I'll be 38. Like I see like things that like were not part of our society before. Like now it's just wild. It's like anything. Just again, you start an IG page, you start a Facebook page, and it's before you know it, you're like. You don't even know what's going on, and so I don't know. I think that if you have done enough bad things, like it all adds up. Like there's gonna be receipts of you doing bad things to people, and anything else, like I just feel like you have to. But it's a wild time to be alive, man.
It damn sure is, and let's not forget us. A lot of people got a lot of time at home nowadays.
And that's a great point that Jason brought up. That anybody that wants to can.
Right. Right, and that's why I'm saying it's a slippery slope, and that's the same thing as him saying that, like, we need receipts. This is the year of receipts.
Absolutely.
Because if not, it's a slippery slope, bro. All it takes is a point, a finger, and a name, and you're done.
I mean, they're finally believing people about all these, like, things that people have been talking about for, like so many years, for 100 years. We talk about police being brutal. People
yeah.
Nah, that never happened. I can't even imagine that.
That's not true.
I don't even know what you're talking about. And then you're like, okay, well, here's the video.
It's only been happening for 400 years.
And now they're like
the whole time.
But what part of the video didn't we see?
It's like, what angle did we miss?
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know, but the angle I saw was real bad, man.
It was pretty clear and concise.
If that's what you call, imagine.
Homie had his knee on his neck for more than 5 seconds.
It doesn't really matter what angle you catch that at.
But was he sick? Because he was probably sick before he stepped on his neck, and I was like, really? Did you just see what I saw? Because I don't. It's just like at this point you're like it's hard to talk about politics or anything like that because people are looking. They're like literally looking at two different things. Like,
yeah.
Literally, we're looking at a topic, and like you're seeing this thing, and I'm seeing that thing, and it's just like so. I just stopped arguing with people. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna.
It's the two-color dress.
Sometimes it's not worth it, man. Because if whoever you're talking to doesn't really want to hear your side, because I can respect anyone who hears me out and then says, you know what, I respectfully disagree because of X, Y, and Z, then whatever, that's your prerogative. But there's a lot of people who will just stand there and let you talk and just wait for their chance to say something back.
Absolutely, and it never stops. And again, with the politics right now, I'm like, listen, it's not worth it. Like you're not gonna have a conversation, and you're not gonna change my mind. I'm not like I tell people, like my canned response is like, I am not an undecided voter. Like, I am not like you don't have to try to convince me. No matter what you say right now, you're not gonna change my mind. So it doesn't really matter. So I just don't like. I think it's a waste of like mental energy. Like it's like. Let it go. Let it. Like we're not. Nothing that we're gonna do is gonna. And I've seen people like friends of mine, group chats have gotten so toxic, and you're like, dog, like we're not gonna change anything right now. Like this conversation is just.
So you gotta let it go.
Just let it go. Let's just like that's what being Americans about is having the decision, the choice to be who you want to be. You want to vote for Trump. Vote for Trump. I just think that is the whole point of being American is that we
the
have
choice
a choice
to make that
like,
decision.
That is what you should protect. That is what is real. Like forget everything else and forget like any side you want. And as I've been dealing with people, unless I deal with a lot of really conservative people who have been talking to them about what's going on, and they don't see any of the stuff that's going on. I was like, listen, whether you believe in the left or the right, understand is that we're going to be caught as the people in the middle. In this like war because there's enough like real like radicals on like both sides that like in just not I don't really believe in peace but I believe in like a truce and like throughout history you just had to kind of find a truce
a compromise.
A compromise but it wasn't that we were like boys but we understood. We
met in the middle ground.
Because we had to stop the fighting. It wasn't worth the death. And I'm just saying, like, at some point, it's either going to have to be a truce or, it's going to...
Fucking anarchy.
An all-out civil war?
Kill each other.
I mean,
You
think about the history of America. Nothing really has been accomplished without that aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's crazy because they're always like, you're going to take this from me. It's like, you know why you're so afraid of people taking things from you? Because you took it in the first place.
Right.
But it's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying, like, just, you got to, like, look at that. And this is why you think everyone's trying to take things from you. No one's really trying to take anything. Everyone's just trying to live. We're all gonna die. So
We want our fair share.
That's it. Just can I live?
Can I live? Like, we're all just trying to see what's going on. No one like chose to be here. I just feel like people have, it's so wild. But I deal with like both ends, and I feel like I'm good with both sides of the story. I love your sneakers. You guys are like so stylish.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man.
They're so
I appreciate
old.
that.
Like, I have like one pair of jeans. You guys are like, seriously.
Listen, but for guys, that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, we don't need to have a lot of jeans.
I don't, man.
I don't have a lot of jeans. I have a few good ones.
I have
a
like
few
work
good
and
men.
workout stuff. I have like work and workout. That's it. Like I'm going to like my job, or I'm going to like go to the gym. I go to like bike in the morning, and that's it. And I have like one pair of jeans, and this is it.
For the casual days. For the casual
This
days.
is it. It's the black jeans.
You sound like my friend Buffett.
Oh!
I would be that asshole who just wore like one T-shirt for the rest of his life. Just be like,
Listen, the people with money do it.
nah.
This is where I'm at.
People with money do it, man.
I have no interest in entertaining you with my florid colors or my style. Like, I don't care at all. I don't care what's in season. Like I'm like I don't care at all. Like the sneakers, I think there was a hole in them and I like super glued it because I was I didn't know. This is dedication to like no. Like, I don't have the money to buy them, but I was like why? Like,
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
I'm not going to the gym right now. Like what's going on?
It's true.
They might
It's
be closed, but I'm
unnecessary.
not going there.
That's a great mind state, bro. All that tells me is that you don't need other people to validate you. You validate yourself.
Oh, yeah, nah,
and that's the way it should be.
You guys don't. Yeah, I mean,
You validate yourself.
No,
Whatever
no,
you
no
feel
interest.
comfortable in, that's what you should wear.
Yeah,
I validate myself out here.
There's a
You
lot of
feel
people out
me?
there just following trends just cause I'll tell you something. Some of them sneakers people are paying $800-900 for are ugly as shit. They are bad.
It's
They
the hype,
are
man.
bad.
It's the
I don't
hype.
care what name the brand says. They're bad. I need you to know that. I want you to know that they're bad.
You know where I learned not to be like that was here, in the school. Like,
Yes.
Listen, I remember we were kids. We go to the park over here. I remember one day they all these like kids from 2018. They stole all these kids Jordans. They were beating them. No, I mean it was
What?
a thing since we were kids. Like that's why I've never. And can I tell you something? I've never.
It's
owned a
been
pair
part of
Air
the culture.
Jordans in my entire
Yeah?
life.
Right?
Because
You
I
could
saw,
definitely
I saw
spend-
someone get rocked when you were young, like around
Shit.
here, over his Jordans, and I was like, I've never.
He was like,
never
nope, I don't
buying
need
it.
any
He's like,
parts
no,
of that.
I don't want no parts of
I'll
that.
get Herb. No one's gonna want. No one's gonna want my stuff. It's like great. Let's do this.
Yo, that
Game plan.
listen, that's a good mentality to have. And honestly, it's like I've gotten there as I got older, because when I was younger, it was all like I wanted to have all of that shit. And my parents don't come from money, so they didn't have money to buy me every pair of Jordans that came out. So in high school, I used to get like 4 pairs a year. 4 pairs a year, and that was kicks and boots. 4 pairs a year.
Lucky nigga.
And boots. That's
And
it.
bro,
And you stunning.
There was a full budget right there.
listen, and I made it work, bro. My kicks were expensive, and I wasn't the only kid in the house. There's 3 of us.
Bro, we bitch a
lucky to
lot,
have
but
one
our
every
parents'
fucking 5
generation
years.
here, it's tough.
Yeah, bro.
Tough. Wife
They came
and
here
kids.
with the language barrier, having to support a whole family.
Bro, wife and kids. Before the age of 22, you were married with kids.
I'm so glad like my dad is not like me. Like I got no kids. I'm 37. Like if it had been like up to me, like it would have ended. Like, I'm just like Malcolm got
This
kids,
is
but
over.
I'm like so selfish. I'm like kids. I like because what it is?
This
It's
is
like,
Malcolm.
I see like my
Shout outs
brother.
to Malcolm.
Shout out to MP. He's coming back soon.
Shout out Malcolm.
But,
Yeah.
like I see them with all the books, the kids' books. I was like, I don't want to go back like that. I ain't going back. I ain't going back. I ain't going back. I ain't going back. You guys tell the ABCs, you think at 40 I'm gonna go back? I'm good, man. It's all good. Your kids are cute though. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Get out
But
of here.
to then in your 50s, you got to remember fractions and shit. I'll be like, nah.
I'm good. It wasn't useful then. It's not useful now.
It's not useful right now.
Teach me how to do my taxes. Why
Yeah,
don't
I'm
you
good.
actually like
I'm good off that.
Teach me how to build credit.
Yeah, we could have done such great things in school. I felt like we spent so much mental energy. Like I still
Yeah.
remember the Pythagorean theorem. I was like, why? Why
Jesus.
is this still in my head? Why is it still in my head right now? Why is this in my head? It's like
At
feels
no
so
point
useless.
have I been like, damn, I wish I would have paid more attention to that.
Yo, and it sucks because it's like, you when you finally learned how to do it, you're like, yo, I learned how to do this shit.
I got
But for what?
And you
meant
never used it
It
again.
meant nothing. It wasn't for a test. Yes, please.
For a test.
It was, there we go.
Pass me.
I know, yeah.
We got a black cherry, please.
You have naturally solid hands. But yeah, man.
I'm black.
Chatty. Toss the chatty.
Since we're missing Monday Night Football, guys, I mean, I want to say how much I wanted to be here. That I skipped this game. You guys obviously don't understand how much I love football. So I was texting him and I could hear his voice because I texted him. I was like, might be late because we're going to watch football. He was like, yeah. So I was I was like, you know what, man? I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. You know, Lannister always pays his debts. So it was.
We appreciate you.
Okay.
We
I'm
appreciate
definitely a
you.
Lannister. I'm definitely a Lannister. Oh,
Bro, speaking of that, last night, so I got my girl watching Game of Thrones now.
Oh, okay.
Right? So she's watching it through now because she didn't watch it when it was out.
What season?
She literally just saw the episode of the Red Wedding.
Oh,
And she was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. You just can't. You're not comfortable with anybody. Nobody's safe. They're just killing everybody. She was like, nah, I'm going to sleep. She went to sleep tight after that, bro.
I remember
fire
waiting
episode.
for people. I was one of those weird kids who read all the books and the whole thing. I remember. So like the whole time I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
You knew it was coming.
Like I just got to just watch everyone's face, and I was like, oh yeah, you got to that part of the book. Been there for years, man. No, it's just messed up because the books are, they're it's a deeper game there.
It is. I have the whole collection. I haven't finished it yet though. I have it, but I haven't gotten to it because I want to read it.
If you read his books, you read 1 million persons. Like each one of those books is like 300,000 words. So if you read the 5 books, everyone's always mad because he didn't come out the last book. So I was like, dude, that dude's been writing that since 1996. Like you have no idea.
Damn,
what
really?
He took most of his adult life and just like wrote those books.
Just
so
wrote away.
People don't understand that, and I'm like, oh, the new book. And I'm like, you obviously have never written a book.
People really don't understand.
You have no idea what's going on. So
It's
I'm like,
true.
not even-
Jason,
I'm not
now
even
that you
honest.
bring that up, I want to get a little bit more into that, if you don't mind.
Yo, man, it's your time, baby.
Because
It's your show.
like Stack said, like we're not writers, clearly. I just want to get a little bit more into like the aspect, the mind state, and like if maybe you could walk us through
How do you
how
brainstorm
do
your
you go,
ideas?
yeah, like how do you brainstorm? How do you go about writing a book? Does a writer have to feel comfortable being in solitude, or can a writer just be social and continue writing as if? I just want to get your take on
Yeah, I mean, as far as the ideas, listen, it just depends on what like motivates you. It's funny because Chosen, my original novels, the first 2, I really developed them here as a kid. I was always like kind of a nerdy, fat little kid around in literally in these hallways, K through 8, man. I was like the whole time. So it was Chosen's about these kids or chosen by aliens to become these fighters and like they become special. That's always what I wanted to be. When I realized looking back on it, I was like, this is just kind of like what you wanted to be, taken and then to prove that you.
By the way, I started reading my copy. I like the guy that walked up in the bench. Reminds me.
Man.
No, that's based on Mike Barrios, who my friend. He passed away, but
yeah?
So it's based on Mikey, but he's one of the main characters. So people have always, people.
Shout out to
see
Chosen. Damn, I'm mad. I don't have my copy, so we could display it here.
Oh.
Chosen,
good,
Jason
baby.
Paulino, man. Pick
And
it
Revolt,
up if you haven't.
And the sequel's out to Revolt, so don't forget.
Part 2.
Make
part
sure
2.
you pick that up. A good read
But
from
yeah,
Dyckman's very
listen,
own. How many authors you know in the hood?
What you gotta understand about writing is like you don't have to have like the whole idea. People always like, oh, I don't know what the full thing is. Like, listen, like my favorite quote about writing is like writing a novel, or whatever is like driving at night. Like you only need to see like what's like directly in front of you, but you can get home. And it's like the best thing because it's like most of his editing. Like the first draft of Chosen was 108,000 words. And it's 167,000 words. It was like until I read it and dealt with it like 8 times because it's like it was like drawing. Like my dad was a drawer, and it's like you start with the kind of outline, and then it just you start seeing it deeper in your mind, and you start shading it in, and like it just becomes clear in your mind. And that's why I tell people like just dump whatever information.
Dump
like,
whatever
don't
you have in your head.
Just do it. Just dump it. Don't even think about it. Everyone's like, oh, it's in my head. I'm like, dude, it does no one any good. In your head. You have to like fight it out in words, and that's the hard thing. Is like you like literally hate it. I remember hating Chosen. Like I remember like the 7th or 8th time I read it in California. I was like, oh, this sucks. Like, I remember just being like, oh my god, this is terrible because you've just been in this thing so long. You have to sometimes step back. And but I encourage anyone. I'm like, listen, like you don't need to know the beginning, middle, and end of a story. As a matter of fact, that's the best feeling is when you discover the ending. And sometimes you're like, oh, where did that come from? And it's just like literally organic, like in your mind. It's just like literally you create it. It's a creation and is nothing else. Like don't think of it as anything else, and don't even. It's just like literally just I literally to start a story need the first image, and that's it. Like and then I write it out, and then you see it, and then you see the second image,
And then you put the puzzle
and then you
together.
just
Piece by
And
piece.
it's just piece by
Okay.
piece. But you have to have that like patience for it, which I said is a different game of just like mentally being able to do that. And I think that is the real challenge of being a writer, is that you have to, you spend like most of it, you just have to be like alone. It's just that's
How long did it take you to complete Chosen?
Oh, I was just about to ask that too. Great
damn,
minds.
Jesus.
like about 2 years. Like I mean the first draft probably a few months, but like my point was, it wasn't the first draft, and it went from 108, and literally I added like 50,000 words in because again, like,
From that first draft to the completed draft, it's
like
2
a
years.
year and a half, 2 years. But I went right into the second one. I wrote the third one. I wrote in like bursts, but I was also in Hollywood, so I wrote 4 screenplays. I have 5 TV pilots. I have a lot. I spent like a long time, like literally, but I didn't care because
How modest.
No, it wasn't like that.
How
No, and
modest.
listen, this is a long time ago. It's not even about being modest. It's about like, because people always are talking to me about like their ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, man, like, what's the page count? Like, I'm like one of those dudes. I'm like, you're talking to me about your idea,
You've
but
been through the whole run through.
I'm like, no.
You've
Like,
been there. You put in the work.
show me the receipts. Like,
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't know your page count? Then this is
Show
a
me the
problem.
receipts.
you
Title
go.
of the
This is a
episode.
bad
I was
start.
just
Like,
about to say
show
that
me the
too. Show me the
receipts.
Show me
receipts.
the receipts. What is this at? And if it's not, like, understand, it's like you're like literally you're auditioning for me. Like, I have no interest in like.
So it's almost like people are pitching you the idea,
Yeah,
but
like-
then they haven't put in any work
There's no
behind
execution.
the idea,
No.
as opposed to somebody that has put in the work behind the idea.
They're not always writers. My whole point is if you could have an idea, but an idea is just an idea. And it's crazy dealing with like Hollywood writers and stuff. They'll be like, oh, I don't want to talk about my idea. I'm like, you think that you're gonna give me something in a pitch, and I'm gonna spend the next like 5-6 months working on this, like and turning this into something, and then you should get credit for like the idea, but like I actually like it's just so crazy because people I'm always like, dog, like you actually have to do the work, and that's the only thing that I'm always like, listen, if you didn't do the work, like please don't just like come to me very like I can literally I'll send you to my Amazon page. I'm like, you want to see what I've written? Like it's just there. That's the only confidence I have in it. Is like I'm like, listen, I'm not here to. I have no outlines. I have no like these are like full 120 page. How much? How much? So it is what it is. Like how many episodes of this pilot? I have 3 episodes of that pilot. And I mean that's within the 5 original pilots I have. I have several episodes for. So this is one of those things I spent a long time with. It was kind of crazy.
You put in that work.
Yeah,
You put in that work. So
I'm like, I'm
don't
like,
be
I don't
modest.
wanna hear
You
that
put in
shit.
that work. So
Right.
when people come at you with some bullshit, it's like yo,
Fuck that.
write you some fucking pages and then
Right.
get back at me
Right.
because I ain't trying to hit you your bullshit.
Yo, take out your
Yeah,
notebook,
fucking
homie.
Jay,
Start
you
writing
fucking
down these
modest as
codes,
fuck. Like,
homie.
yeah.
Start
Nah.
taking out these codes,
Put in
homie.
this fucking work and then
Yo,
you
you
come
feel
out
me,
at me. You
homie?
come talk
I
to me.
feel
homie.
You feel me, homie?
I
Let
feel
him
you.
know. Let him know.
All
I
right.
don't think he
Yes.
feel you. I don't think he feel you.
I don't know if he feels
I don't
you.
think he feel you.
See me?
See?
Stop playing.
All right.
He knows the deal. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's so. How was working with Hollywood writers? Because I feel like, I mean, first of all, kudos to that because that's some shit that I'm sure
Dyckman's very
growing
old.
up here. You don't ever think you'll do some shit like that.
Paulino. Ay, Dios mío.
It's just Hollywood itself. Like I lived in LA for like 4 years, and it's like it's a weird place because everyone just like here they're like normal people who just want to do things. Like everyone in LA is just like
Creative.
angled. Well,
Chasing a
they're
dream.
chasing this thing.
Everybody's
They're
creative
not
in
from
LA,
there,
right?
And so they're all creative. And
Yeah.
some of them
yeah,
get
yeah,
lucky. Listen, in LA, the biggest thing you could get is like a commercial. Like you get a national commercial.
Really?
2-3. Think about it. You're making like $200,000-$300,000 on like a 20-minute show. I knew a guy who was like the cover model.
Shout outs to
of
the
a-
ShamWow
Oh
guy.
yeah, exactly. The ShamWow guys. I mean, that dude's doing real well. That guy's balling compared to other.
Hell
You see
yeah.
These guys, and sometimes you'll see them, and I'll still watch TV. And I'm like, oh, I know that person. I know there's a person
Yeah?
that used to teach class. I worked at Equinox in Santa Monica.
Your
and I'm
face
telling you,
becomes
those people-
national.
Yeah, you just see them, but I'm just seeing that they're living good. I'm gonna make $200,000-$300,000 in Los Angeles, living pretty well on just like 10-15 minutes of work. I know a guy who was the album cover for remember Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Like
the
model,
one with the
guy.
hood.
Dude, he covered his face. He's this young dude. He made like $90,000 on that. Like,
What?
Like, think about that. Like, just think about that. This
Jesus.
cover of
That's
Assassin's
opportunities,
20
bro.
minutes of
Creative
work.
opportunities.
Nothing else.
Not even
That was
20 minutes.
That was one job.
Creative opportunities.
And I'm just saying that
but
dude was chilling in LA.
there's
I'm
a
just saying,
budget
man.
for that.
Wow.
There's a
That's
budget
what
for
it is.
that.
Get the
Companies
movies.
have budgets for that. So it just comes down to who they hire
crazy.
for that part. And if you just happen to get chosen.
And if you're in the
then-
right time,
yeah,
sometime in the right place with the right connection.
Yeah, once again, right place at the right time.
Yeah.
You just happen to be the guy that gets the
I
90
could have
mil.
been Miles Morales in Spider-Man.
There you go. Miles Morales.
You look like a big like Miles Morales. Like after you got big by the
Miles
Spider-Man.
Morales in college.
Suck, homies.
College Miles Morales.
I'm out here
Panther.
Spidey your fucking moms out
Black
here.
Panther. Okay.
I met the craziest people. I told you I worked at Equinox in Santa Monica, and I'm telling you, I knew so many random famous people that, like, I look back on it like 10 years later. It's like 2009, 2008. I met The Rock. I met, I knew. What's his
You
name?
met The Rock?
And listen, The Rock is, if you imagine,
He's a cool dude. You can tell.
real
Yeah,
cool dude.
right?
He just broken his leg. He had one giant calf and one like
Shit.
regular one, and
That dude is a giant, right?
Imagine touring a gym and The Rock kind of waves at you. Like it's like an automatic sale. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're gonna go downstairs and just give me your credit card. That was it. It was just like the best thing when he was in there because he was just like Kerry Washington. I knew, or I met her a couple times. Bradley Cooper.
Those are big names.
Those
big names.
I can't get into the story.
But it's
was
LA.
like crazy. It was LA. It was just like
Yeah.
these are just people. Like I'm just saying, like over there is not.
They
that
just
many
live
people.
there.
They just live there. One of the my favorite people I met was what's his name? The comedian Billy Crystal. And Billy Crystal just came in there just to like. He's like literally he came in with some dude and was like, I just want to look at this gym to like basically take all the cool equipment or like buy it from my own personal gym. And he wanted a tour. And I was like, absolutely.
All right.
Sure, why not? Why
Right.
not?
Billy Crystal. And so funny, he didn't really look at me the entire time. But that season, he had just turned like 52 or something. The Yankees let him play, let him like at bat, like in a preseason spring game. whatever it is, And he struck out. And so we were talking, he's from the Bronx, whatever it is. And, he wasn't even really looking at me. And I was like,
Damn,
yeah,
so
man.
he ain't rep.
Yeah, but he was
Basically.
but then he goes to me,
You
and
look
so-
down at him like, damn you, Billy Crystal.
No. He was
Fucking
he
you
was
strike
nice.
out, boy? That's how you run for the BX?
Rap for the BX, homie.
No, he was really cool. And
You had to check him?
No. He was like I said, he was a real nice guy. But he was saying that what was it? We were just walking around. He was just like he's not Billy Crystal. You're not Billy Crystal. He was saying that he's not a Benjamin Button. But it was just like a really cool thing. But the thing that connected me with him was I was like, yo, you should have gotten a second at bat. And like, so he was looking down, and all of a sudden he looked up at me and he goes. And me and him were cool from that moment on. But like I literally, because I was like, yeah,
felt the same way.
Why not?
I literally was like, you should have gotten a second at bat. And just like, but it was like he stopped for a second. He was like,
It's like, wow, somebody else felt the same way.
I like this guy.
I like this guy. I had Billy's respect.
A second at bat for another fucking strikeout. Another strikeout.
If you're gonna give him one, you might as well give him two.
Word, let my man get some wood on the ball, please.
Old ass Billy.
You should have gotten a second strikeout.
Billy, come on now.
Bro, speaking of that, have you guys seen all those videos? I'm pretty sure we have of people completely like botching those first pitches at baseball games, like throwing a first pitch and it looking terrible. Like didn't 50 threw a terrible first pitch at that game that he pitched at?
Oh, okay. No, yeah, bro. Usually, I would say celebrities do it on purpose so it can like make news.
Nah,
and, like,
I don't believe that.
No one's
Bro,
no
you
one's-
believe
I don't
it.
believe that. No.
Bro, you gonna tell me 50 can't throw a fucking
Yeah,
ball
I believe
straight
it. The
down?
way he threw it, I do think so.
At the moment, they're not. They don't like. What was the last time you threw a baseball? Tell me that.
I don't even
I
remember.
want you to think about that. I want
We're
you to, like, think in your
Dominican.
mind-
That's natural
No,
for
no.
us.
We're obviously
like,
gonna
bro.
throw
Like,
strike,
no,
but, like,
growing
not
up,
them. Yeah.
I met someone that couldn't catch, and I couldn't believe it. I thought
Bro.
catching was natural.
No,
like
no.
people are born with coordination.
No,
I
my
really
friend.
thought that And within my beliefs. I thought people were born.
No, my
with
friend.
catching abilities.
Hand-eye coordination is a
It's a given.
skill that
No,
needs to be developed as well.
No, man.
Okay.
Because
in
if
with Little League, man, you gotta go.
if you didn't play some kind of sport,
I'm
you're not gonna
sorry.
have that.
I
and
thought-
maybe 50 didn't play no sports. He was just too busy trying to get
Busting
that
them guns.
sheepskin
So
coat.
they give you that, at birth.
No.
So before we go, I just have two last questions before we go.
Go ahead.
Two last questions.
Sounds like real serious right now. Like you're like setting up for something like some CNN thing. Like
gonna
you're
say it
about to-
like
you're about to
this.
drop, like,
So the first question is that aside from being an author and being chief executive. What was it? Chief
Chief
editor.
Listen,
Editor-in-chief.
let me explain that, because honestly, I didn't say enough about the thing with Dyckman Diaries. I love working with Charlie. You know, he's got like 20,000 followers. They're all local, like a genius at it. You know, and I'm not even gonna give anything more Charlie, because he's very secretive. But like, and so, but the thing is that like as his influence has grown, he needed someone who could handle like the editorial things. Like I'm trying to get them into more like
there's different aspects. Yeah, I completely understand. There's different aspects,
and I help him with that. And he doesn't have anyone. He has a bunch of people who do. You asked me, I think one time, asked me like, "Oh, you doing video editing?" I'm like, no. What I'm trying to do is totally different. I'm trying to do like written content, write about real things. I told you the Trump.
And going forward, we would like to be involved as well.
I listen. Obviously, I'm here, man. Like I said, I've known you guys
hand in hand, and
we've known
hopefully
each other for a long time, all of us.
And hopefully,
we're
gonna have Charlie over as well.
Shout out to Dyckman Diary.
Exactly. Shout out to Dyckman Diary, and he does a great job, and he's one of the few people who has, and that's why I was very interested in working with him, because I was like, listen, you have a real audience. I mean.
We featured him here.
People, no, he's absolutely so, and he's very secretive, and he's going through all these things, and so I'm always, he's working on like different movies right now. I'm helping him, like he wants to,
That's what's up.
It's funny because he came to me with the movie I did. I totally gave him the same thing, and I was like, yo, how many pages? He was, so the thing
where's
is,
the receipts?
Exactly.
Man, where's the receipt?
Like everyone's got ideas. It's so funny because I feel like he really respected what I had to say about it. But I tell people I do this with love, and I would expect you to do the same thing in my work. Tell me what you read it, but I read it. My point is, he sent me the work, and I was like, he wants to do a movie. He had it, and he had an outline, he had the whole thing, and I was like, I'm gonna read it. My point is that I'm not gonna play you on that thing. So I'm very excited for like the future, and that he's starting to raise, money. He wants to write a movie. I know he can raise like 150. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's very few people that I know around here who could, like, if they just wanted to, could raise that kind of money for like whatever it is. And so yeah, I'm like, okay, you know what? I fucks with I'll see where this goes. And see
That's
what's
what's
going
up.
on. And I think that it's just about having that like that voice, and having that like and especially if you're from this neighborhood. And I think 2020 taught us anything is like all we got. I tell them,
Absolutely.
I'm like, all we got. Like, listen, I'm just saying, like, if we don't really like, we all like, that's like it's just the truth, and so I think that we've been educated. I started here in all QM, but it all started kind of here. It's just kind of weird to be here because this is like kind of, but like
back to the stomping ground.
Literally the stomping ground. They just taught me how to be educated, how to read. It's funny to be in the library. It's just like, but to me it means a big deal because I was like, this is literally. I think back to even Chosen. I think back to these days. It's just. So we go. So that was question one. I'm sorry, I babbled a little bit.
I don't feel, we didn't even get to the question one.
I'm sorry. I'm like,
no, but it's amongst those lines.
Yeah.
So other than being an author,
Author.
Arthur. My tongue is heavy. It's heavy.
I let it rock twice.
We did. I saw you every time, kind of like Bobby Hell. Like, okay, it was close. It was close.
It was
like,
you're right there.
Like right there. Like you're right there.
Heavy tongue, heavy accent.
Heavy accent.
Heavy accent.
Let's go.
Can't. It is what it is.
Go ahead.
Nonetheless, what other accolades are in your repertoire that we do not know of? Hey, do not be modest. Do not be modest.
I don't know about repertoire. Listen, since COVID, my biggest thing has been like I got a nice road bike. I have a cycling, so I basically I get up at 5:30 in the morning.
You're being modest, Jason. You're being modest, Jason. I'm talking about you. You wrote three novels.
I wrote three novels.
You said you worked with Hollywood writers.
No, that was a long time ago. Right now, I'm happy.
But nonetheless, it still happened.
Yeah, I work for a big developer.
You're a kid from Dyckman. We need to inspire people and let people know that just because you're born here, like this is not your limit.
But this is like a great place. This is America. You live in New York City. Like I don't feel like this is.
But
even,
we don't manifest this enough.
Oh, it's all good. But like my point is, all that stuff is there. But right now, what's my biggest thing is that I have a full-time great job. I work in affordable housing. I work for a related management company, which is probably one of the biggest companies in the world. It's a $5 billion company. Steve Ross, he owns the Dolphins and all that. And like right now I'm helping people like who have been crushed by COVID, like trying to get them into like affordable housing. And I'm working a project in Roosevelt Island. And that's one of the proudest things. Like people, like I'm dealing with, a Dominican mom, someone who's like, these people who are like in shelters and things that really need help. And so right now, like, it's funny because today's my day off, but like it's actually one of my proudest things is helping, people who really need.
And we appreciate you stopping
Thank you
by.
very much. And
Hell
but
yeah.
it's been a process, but I'm proud of that kind of work because it's hard. The city makes it really hard to get those apartments and get those things. And I'm like, literally, I joke, I'm like your lawyer. Like I put your case together, like I sit all day in a computer and just like put these things. So, all these other things are kind of my side things, but I've done the other jobs and the creative things, and I'm always going to be proud of myself. Like as far as I wanted to be an author, I want to write my books, but I did it. And so my point is, no matter even, it's like I think of myself like almost like a Van Gogh, whatever. There's all these great artists that like nearly never, they didn't even knew they were famous. Like my point is, Van Gogh is probably worth $200,000 right now, right? Van Gogh died in a hospital, and he cut off his ears. He died like thinking he was basically a failure. And now his artwork is like, sometimes you have to kind of like, that's the thing about being an artist is like your loop isn't like, you're never as valuable until your loop is closed until like, you know what I'm saying? Well, while you can still bring out more stuff, you're a little less valuable, and it's crazy. But to be an artist is like once you're gone, like you have nothing. Like, everything you've done becomes that much more valuable because nothing else is ever gonna come. So like I always joke with people. I was like, listen, I'm really proud of what I've done, and I live a really happy life. Like my point is, like I said, my bike riding. it's real simple stuff, but like I deal with people who like have a lot more than me, but like are really way less happy than me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like I'm like totally like I'm good, And I mean, I feel like I have nothing to prove. And I think you have to do that. You have to, And I think that those are hard decisions I made when I was younger. And then now I'm like I said, if anyone, I'm like, you have to show me the receipts, like seriously, like
You don't need anybody to
I'm
validate
not really looking for that. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like
validate yourself.
I'm talking about 10 years of like dealing with the storm. So I'm like, listen, man, like, so I try to be I'm like, okay, I'll hear you out. And I always want to help because you never know what opportunities will come. Again, Dyckman Diary, Charlie, there's all these different things that are going on, and you just try to use your skill set. And like I said, I spent all the time I was a nerdy kid. All I did was read. And I tell people, if you want to write, the biggest thing you should do is just read. Forget like writing. Like honestly, if you want to learn like the real cadence of writing, it's just constant repetition. And I've written 3 novels, but I've probably read over like 300 books. If you follow me like on Goodreads, like I'm one of those people who tracks what I read. I give it like stars. I put a thing. It is. But my point is like I've read like almost every like classic over the years. And I think that those things add up. And I think as you get older, you're just going to have to do things that like keep, even if they seem small, but they keep moving you in the direction that you're trying to move. Like those are good things. Like you just keep, and especially 2020, I think everyone's just reassessed their lives. I think what happened was that we spent like 5-6 months in like this like
Captivity.
limbo, and you had to like realize what was really important to you, because like it was like, okay, like like was I gonna die for this, or was like like I feel like everyone's priorities now is really focused. And I'm really proud to see people. Yeah, it really has. It's like people are like, like, is it really what I want to do? Is this where I want to spend my life? Is this where I want to spend my time? Because as you get an adult, as you get older, you realize that there's nothing more valuable than your time. And I tell everyone, just don't waste my fucking time. Like, honestly, I have no other thing. Like there's nothing, no money, no nothing is gonna take back the time that you have just taken from me, especially as so I'm always like very conscious of that.
Yeah,
and I think
that's great to hear, Jay.
It's like, no, like be conscious and understand there's nothing more valuable. If I can say anything that I can, almost like respect your time and don't let anyone waste your time, because like you're never gonna get that time back, and there's absolutely nothing more valuable in your life. And as we get older, like I'm like please, it's all good. You want to let this go? You don't want to talk about this? Let's just drop it, and we'll never have to talk about it. I'm not gonna hold it against you. But if you waste my fucking time, if you waste my time, like I'm gonna take it personally, and this is when it's gonna get really bad. This is when things are gonna get like, just. And so I'm sorry, I don't know if I got to one, but that was one.
Okay,
You addressed it.
It's too many of the White Claws, but
that's all
No,
good.
that was
It's
all good,
good.
man.
No, thank you.
That was all good, especially the point where that you made, and it goes back to they never really miss you till you're dead or you're gone.
oh no, absolutely not, and that's a true thing, and nobody, look,
Yeah.
and people who know art understand it, but it's such an old story. Like, don't even feel special. Like, if you think about, like, I'm telling you, Van Gogh, who literally, you could sell one of his paintings now for over $1 million. He died in a hospital underground, thinking he was the biggest
was a failure.
and he died on that note. And now we're looking at his art, and we're like,
This is the greatest thing I've ever
It's the
seen.
greatest thing ever. And I'm just saying that you just can't even. Our legacies are going to be so much longer. And this is what we have is this time to decide what our what is going to be remembered. But our time here is like real short. You
It's
know
a
what I'm saying?
dot.
It's like literally like a. Just think about your time on Earth compared to like we think about history. We think about it's just such a small drop in the bucket that just. Do the best you can and do what you love.
I'm glad you bring that up because I'm one of the people that believe that time is a more valuable currency.
Everything. It's everything. It's absolutely.
It is. And I mean, it happens in music too. You see now a musician dies and he's immortalized and he was the greatest and that's it.
And there's some of the best. And listen, 2020, Juice WRLD. I love to listen to the album. Legends Never Die. I have that on repeat. I ride it on my bike every morning. Obviously, what's his name? Pop Smoke. There was a lot of people. Yeah, like they left, but you're right. And some people are just really good. And then the thing about I love Juice WRLD in particular but he talks about how like he knew he was gonna this is what's gonna kill me. He just and it's funny because not funny, but like all these prescriptions, all these things. But it's crazy because it's not even like weed or any of the stuff that they're trying to put everyone in jail for. It's like stuff that he got from like his doctor.
Yep.
Is what killed him. It's what killed all these people. Is like it's like it's your doctor's. That's a real drug dealer right there. Like,
It's true.
Forget the corner man. Like the perks and the codeine and all that stuff. That's what's really killing people. And it's just crazy because he talks about it in his music. If you listen to the Legends Never Die, he talks about like this is what saves me. This is what makes me as good as I am. But this is what's gonna kill me. And he died in a private jet, a PJ, as they say. It's
Sad to hear.
And that's
crazy.
that's tough, bro.
20 years old. Pop was
20
like the same
fucking
thing,
yeah.
19, 20 years
Yeah,
old.
they were all really really young. And now that you bring up Pop, it reminds me I was on I forgot where I was, and I was having this conversation with this dude, and he's telling me about like some of the people who were like his favorites, and I'm like, all right, so what were your like top 3 to 4 tracks for each one? And he could only give me like 2 per, and I was like, wow, you're just trying to ride the popular wave. You really just want to be part of this because it's happening, but you weren't even really a fan. And that doesn't mean like, I also disagree with the fact that sometimes there are diehard fans who discourage newer fans, and I don't think that's right. But then there's a lot of people that kind of just ride a wave. They just jump on a wave and they ride it, and I'm like, okay, what is it about this that you like? And they're just like, oh.
And everyone wants to belong, and I think as you get older, you see that with people. It's like they see this thing, and it's like people. And honestly, I don't even get mad at people like that because some things they do just pop up. I never listened to Juice WRLD until his last album that he died, but now I'm like listening to all his old stuff. Like I don't know if you've listened to. I mean, it's amazing work. Like he's just like such a talented dude. I did not know him until he died. I don't feel like I was jumping on his bandwagon, but yeah, you're right. It's just like the nature of the game. It's like once you're gone. Your work is the loop is closed, and there's nothing else coming. So everything you've done is so much more valuable. And
This is your legacy.
It's your legacy. That's it. That's it. It's like that. It was locked in, and now we have to decide what's going on. So
And on the flip side, it's also, like you said, maybe sometimes they don't have the same notoriety, so they don't reach as far. So sometimes, I mean, and it's unfortunate, nobody wants anyone to go, but sometimes passing kind of sends you.
it does, and there's a double-edged thing. It's like we can't control. There's so many fucked up things in our world, our society. But I'm just saying, like, it's nothing new. Now, you tell me some more Swiss stories. I'm down. I want some of your pickup lines. Go ahead. Oh, here's
Another episode. Last question. If it were to end right now, Jay, what would you like to be remembered for?
Oh, exactly what I am right now. I mean, I think my writing eventually. I honestly think I'm that crazy in the head. I think that like my novels will be like bestsellers like the week after I'm dead. Like people like the clips from this will come up or whatever it is and be like, I didn't know who this guy was, and then all of a sudden like it'll be a thing, and I'm just saying like I'll be remembered as a writer, and like I just have all this secret work no one's ever looked at. I just you do this for so long where like I told you there was a long time where I could take the beating when I was in my 20s, but when you get your 30s and like you spend all this time like I tell you I was unemployed. I was like living in Los Angeles. I was living on a mattress and like in like Venice Beach. Like I'm the other people who like had that story, be like, yo, like that true Hollywood, like living. He was living in like a beach on a, like I'm telling you, there used to be this like Subway meal that was like a soup and like a half a sandwich for like $6.
Yes, I remember.
Literally for like a month. Remember, I had one meal a day, and that was all I did. I had enough money for my rent. I'm just saying, like, I think that eventually, like, if you are who you say you are, like, the lights are here. It's that old like Lupe song, but it's like if you are who you say you are, but that's who I really am, and I mean that's who I want to be. But at the same time, like you have to have enough respect for yourself that I'd rather right now just be working. It was like, oh, you don't want to write anything else? I was like, I don't have to prove anything else. Like I wrote 3 novels. I mean, whatever it is, like I know I could do it. But like I mean, you have to pay me for it. Like,
yeah.
Just write me a check, show me some, and if not that, but it's all there. I'm like, and you'll respect it way more when I'm like gone. But like, all I know is that it's there. That's my legacy. I don't need kids. I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Like you'll remember me. On someday, people joke because I give them the book. They're like, I haven't read it, and I was like, you know what? But maybe someday you will. That's the joke. I gave you that option. Sit on your shelf. You're looking at it.
Dust it off one day.
And maybe one day we're just like, but I gave you that option, and I'm always proud of that. So I'm like, I tell people, I was like, I get killed like right outside this school across the street. But you just know Jason like was like, oh, I truly did what I wanted to do, and that's all that matters,
So one follow-up besides that, if let's say one of the books did gain enough notoriety that you wouldn't have to work anymore, would you then write more? Because now all the bills are paid, so that's what you love and that's what you would do, and you would write more.
That's the dream, man. That's the dream. And so that's why you keep working, but like the foundation is there, and then I'm like, oh no, I'll just keep editing. But that's the that's the ultimate thing. But if it doesn't happen, I'm okay.
Then it's okay. Okay, I respect it.
All right, nice. Very nice.
Thank you for
Shout out
having
to
me on.
Jason,
Thank
man.
Thank you for coming. Yo, give me the yellow. Yo. Shout out to Jason Paulino.
That's right.
Thanks for coming through, man.
For sure. We appreciate
We love you, bro. Like I said, we got to do this again. Hopefully Charlie can stop by one of these days as well.
Charlie's very shy.
I'd like
but
to have a conversation with him about some things.
Maybe we could do it like Gangland. We could like block
from
him
the
out
MC.
and get his voice
Gangland.
changed. We could change his voice and block him out. Boom.
Or just put him 6 feet apart from us over there.
Oh, off camera.
I don't think he cares about any of that stuff. But honestly, he's like a artist. Like he's just cares about the art. Like it's just like it's weird. Like
It's genuine.
He's like a
it's
truly
genuine.
Genuine.
thing, and he's just like I'm just like so. I just after a while when I didn't believe it at first, but then after a while I was like,
You're like, this is who you really are. Okay.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to just fucks with it.
Yeah.
You in or you're out. So
Not bad. Not bad.
I respect it. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work, man.
Shout out to Dyckman Diaries. Shout out to Jason Paulino.
That's right. That's right.
Chosen. Look it up on Amazon.
Get it.
How can we look it up, Jason? On Amazon?
I have an Amazon page. You could get on your Kindle. You get the actual. Listen, I tell people the first book Chosen is expensive. It sounds like it's a 500-page novel. I get get $2, but it's because you pay for the paper. So I'm like, get on your Kindle for like $2. I don't care because I get almost the exact same cut.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
But the physical book, and I'm like, listen, and if you buy it, I will come. If you're around here, I will come and sign it for you. I don't really care. Jason Paulino. They're gonna put the link on there. My
Right here from
page.
Dyckman.
That's right.
1 and 2, book 1 and 2, and Revolt and all that stuff. You're probably in there.
So just go on Amazon and just type in Chosen.
Chosen Remastered, and then Revolt's book 2, and the original was Chosen, and then I got re-edited, and there's like a remastered version, whatever it is. Same.
And you heard it here. If you get the physical copy, you'll get that autograph around here.
I will bike to you, man. I got the Cannondale. We're like in there.
And when in doubt, Jason Paulino and Instagram, or you can refer to the Dyckman Podcast.
Yes, sir.
I got you with the link.
Yes, sir.
It's open, I'm like, I don't care. If you get annoying, I'm just gonna block you. So it's
So take your shot. Just don't tell him his titties are popping.
Can I check out that bulge?
Yo, we out, man.
Good shit, man. Let's go. Woo.